the leader of the social team here in Albuquerque, Henry Padilla.
Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Henry Padilla. I am the co-founder of the social team with my partner, Devin Amos. We sell residential real estate here in New Mexico, and we've sold millions upon millions through the power of social media, and that's what I'm going to be teaching you guys today. So I want to start off with a question. How many of you guys, the very first thing as soon as you wake up, before you talk to your girlfriend, your wife, boyfriend, anything like that, is you check your phone? Can I get a raise of hands? Pretty prominent, right? So that just goes to show, for example, of where our attention is, right? So wouldn't it make sense for us always to be in the phone, on the apps, consistently? We need to have a presence on social media. It is the most important thing in our space right now, honestly. And now, for the first time in history, ads and any kind of communication with clients is becoming two-sided. So instead of just being like an ad on TV or print, you can actually have the client respond back to you directly, more efficiently than ever. So that's something that we really need to utilize. So I'm gonna give you guys 3 foundational tips that's really gonna kind of elevate your business and give you a better understanding of how social media works. The first one is your intention. What is your intention through social media, right? A lot of people just post, just their wins, just their sales, or just their personal life. All of those, they need to be a medley with each other. Because if not, people are only gonna see you post about real estate. They're gonna feel like they're getting sold. People do not wanna feel like they're getting sold. If you're only posting your wins, the flash and stuff of those sorts, then basically you might get a little bit of engagement, but it's not gonna really commit a relationship to anybody to you, because they're gonna be like, wow, that's really cool, I'm gonna give it a like, but it's not gonna really make them wanna work with you. And the last thing is, if you only post about personal things, then of course, they're not even gonna know you're a realtor, right? So your intention is probably the most important thing, and it's your why. It's the whole reason why you're on there, right? To build relationships, to create a community, so you can actually turn those posts into transactions over time, right? So once you dial in your intention and you have a good mix of everything put together, you start building a community with people, because then you start creating the relationship, you start becoming more relatable to them. And when you're more relatable to them, you eventually become a lot more trustable, more trustworthy. So when you're more trustworthy, you're able to help someone with the biggest transaction of their whole life. And that is the goal, right? So over a period of time, if you don't really understand what your intention is over time, you're just gonna be the person that's trying to sell, trying to flash, or you're only posting pictures with your dog or cat. So if you really don't dial in your intention, you're gonna get lost in the smoke of social media, and you're gonna think it doesn't work. So the second thing I wanna talk about is what? The video. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to get these people attention? So basically, video is probably the most important thing that's really gonna express your emotion out to people, that makes them relate to you, that makes them feel connected to you in some way. And I keep saying connection because it's all a relationship business, right? You can connect with other realtors on social media, get referrals from across the country. This all is starting to make sense once you start putting this together. So once you start becoming more prominent on video, which I know a lot of people are super nervous about video, right? It's just something that seems like it gets put in the same category as dancing, singing, becoming an actor. Like, if it's not a God-given thing, you're just not gonna figure it out. But really, it's just something like getting on a bike. You need to try it over and over again. Getting into real estate, you need to practice repetition. One example that may be able to help you be able to be better with video is start with stories, start with Snapchat. Get the camera in front of your face just so you start getting used to it. You don't need to have high production, high level stuff. You don't need a Jalubi in your corner for it to make sense. So if you just start there and you get just 1% better with video, get more comfortable, so people start feeling who you are through the phone, through the apps, whenever they see you in person, they're gonna feel like they already know you. That is the main point here, because eventually over time, that's gonna build your community, it is gonna build your brand, and it's gonna eventually turn into sales, is what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to turn everything, trying to create an ROI from it. And eventually, this is something that's gonna be a free ROI. It's 110,000%, that's always gonna give you a return. So if you commit to video, which I'm telling you guys is probably the most important thing, is just over time, just one story a day. Then you get into a property tour, and then you get into talking about stories about your life and stuff like that. So you gotta be able to express yourself fully through it, and not just through real estate, because if you're not becoming relatable, it's really not gonna make any sense in the end. You're you're just gonna be the realtor that nobody wants to work with. They just know you're a realtor, but they're not like, hey, there's no connection here. And then also the final thing that I really want to talk about is how are you gonna do all this, right? Is consistency. Consistency over time that plays a big role in almost anything. But with this, people are expecting an ROI immediately from it. It's something that has to take years, months, consistency. If not, you're never gonna create community. You're never gonna create a brand. It's gonna take trial and error to figure out who you are and what is your social media presence and how people are relating to you. Because a lot of people, like, you know, this business, within the first year, 83% of people, it's a high turnover rate. You don't want to be that part in real estate, so put that same mindset into social media. It's going to be a whole other job. It is. It's super difficult. We're always planning. I'm always with Jalubi trying to figure out what's the next video, what's the next move with social media, of anything of that sort. So we just stuck through it for years and years and years and being able to create a brand. We're able to create something where we have all of you guys here through social media is because it became an influence over time. You know, so if we really commit to something over time, you'll see the fruits of the labor, right? And this is the same thing. People think it's just something extra. It has to be incorporated overall in what your business means. Because if not, you're only, of course, it's okay to refer off of, you know, just referral stuff, but you always want to go 110%, right? So over time, this is something that really makes sense. And I really, really hope you guys get the most out of this. You know, start using social media. If you guys ever need any help, any assistance, anything of that sort, I'm an open book. I like to live in my mindset of abundance mindset. I feel like there's enough for everyone. So realizing that, you know, we're all here as a community, right? We're all connecting. All of us realtors should always be connected, because if we're staying connected and we're working well together, we have a better experience with our clients. We have a better experience with our clients. We ourselves are performing better as well. So I really think that's all important, guys. Those are kind of 3 pillars that I really, really adamant about. And if you guys commit to those, the sky's the limit, and you're never, ever gonna stop. And I really hope you guys use those points. And I hope you guys have the best year of your life through using social media. Thank you, guys.